Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the K Lounge. I'm your host, Samuel Ku, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Marshall.
Hey, everybody. It's
And
Marshall.
We have our
Beautiful special guest, Charlotte Wilson.
What's up?
Welcome to the K Lounge. How are you feeling today?
I'm really good, thank you. I'm dying from this heat.
Yeah.
Okay. This Korea heat is killing me. It's my first summer here. But I didn't know it was this bad. Like, seriously? Yeah, I'm dying. And I hear it's going to get hotter next week.
It's insane.
Right?
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little intro to who you are and why you are here with the K Lounge.
Thank you.
Okay, so Charlotte Wilson is a incredible songwriter, musician. She's from London. She's written some of your favorite tracks from ITZY, ASTRO, Hot Issue, Very, Very, Kang Daniel, The Boys. The list goes on and on and on.
For everyone. For everyone.
Yeah, she's written for a lot of people, a lot of title, aka main single tracks as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Charlotte has been in the game actually since, I want to say 2011?
Yeah.
Which we can talk about that in just a little bit. But yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out in this heat.
I know. I died on the way here, but I'm okay now.
It's-
I'm living.
It's that humidity, you know?
It's
No,
crazy.
in Korea, when it's cold, it's
Just-
cold. When it's hot, it's hot.
It is.
It
It's
is.
intense.
Yeah,
intense.
but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
better than the UK. Like
Is
by
it?
far. Yeah, because it's just grey and raining like all the time.
That's so depressing, man.
Yeah. You don't even have like, okay, you'll have one day of summer and then it's just rain.
You probably
Okay.
write better music in London then.
I mean, I don't know. Even though, no.
No?
I write better music here.
Nice.
Well, with
Whoever
that being said, okay, so how did you get into music, into K-pop? Like, how? Because you've been in the game for a
Yeah.
while, for decades almost.
I know, like,
So how did you get
how
into
did it start? It was by mistake. All right. I was on YouTube. Okay. I come home from college. So how old was I? Like I was
12?
No.
Because we're eternally 25.
No, I was about 16, 17. And I was on YouTube and I was looking at a Usher video.
Oh, which one?
Usher
I
video.
don't know. It was like he was having a concert.
And he took off his shirt
Yeah,
and he's
okay,
doing that
no.
crazy dance with that microphone.
Right.
We love a shirtless
Yeah.
Usher.
I know which one
It was
is.
that.
Yeah.
But somebody opened for him and it was Rain.
Oh.
Right?
That was back in the
It
day.
was B.
It's
Oh,
raining.
wow.
Bees.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think the song was It's Coming or something.
That's
Oh,
when
I'm sure it
JYP was pushing K-pop into the States. They were the first
Yes.
ones trying to push.
That's
Like
right.
Wonder Girls,
insane.
The
yeah.
Rain.
Because
yeah.
Rain was also in a couple of
Movies.
movies.
Ninja
Right? He did-
Assassin.
yes,
That's
right. And I went to see
right.
that
Oh, shoot.
and stuff. So I knew, oh my gosh, that was him. And then I was like, but how can I not understand what this man's saying? But I'm still vibing. I'm like, yeah, I'm just dancing with him. And then I decided to look up who he was, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's this whole world here. All these people, I can't understand what they're saying, but it's
Yeah.
music and I love how it sounds. And then I literally did a whole sweep from Boyfriend to who else was out? I think Shiny was popping at that time, TVXQ, Girls' Generation, and then I even looked at HOT, GOD.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You did that whole
You went
research.
Yeah, I
back.
did the
You went back.
whole sweep. Like it was a whole
But
thing.
there's so many people that have actually gotten into K-pop, like how Charlotte got into it. You know, that one artist or that one clip
Yeah.
just draws you into
Becomes
that
a
whole
gateway.
industry. Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
And so that's basically what happened. And before I knew it, I was sucked in. And at that time, I was studying sound engineering at college.
Oh.
And my teacher was a star from the 80s. His name was Stevie V.
Stevie
Like a,
V.
what do you mean?
Like an artist, like a singer.
in London.
Yeah, like he had a track called Money Talks. It was big in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
But he also had a publishing company,
Uh-huh.
right? And then I was like, okay, look, I can write songs. I want to write K-pop. He was like, are you sure? Like, how? How are you going to do this? I was like, I don't know, but you have to help me. So then I started to record my own demos.
Okay.
right? And they were so bad. So bad. I don't
Well,
even...
I think that's what everyone says. Everyone
if you heard
says.
my first song, you'd be like, how are you an artist? Like, how did you get into this? Because you were terrible.
It was really bad. And at that point, I didn't think my voice was fit for K-pop. And I didn't know at that time that foreigners wrote K-pop songs. You know, you would just assume, okay, you know, Koreans are behind K-pop.
The first Europeans to ever write K-pop music was Scandinavians.
Yeah, of course.
Scandi pop is the closest to K-pop. So when I write music, I go back to Scandi pop. Scandinavian pop is exactly like K-pop. The structure of it.
Wow.
I mean, some of the biggest producers in pop music, like Max Martin, you know, Bloodshine and Avant.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
so many of them are from Scandinavia anyway.
But that's why you probably first thought that you wouldn't fit for the K-pop.
Yeah.
But K-pop actually fits in with every writer.
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
It does.
That's what K-pop is.
Exactly. Of non-Korean writers. Exactly. Like 17 songwriters on the credits.
Yeah. But, you know, so at that time and, you know, Instagram didn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
YouTube was there. It was more like the MSN days
Exactly.
and MySpace.
Dial-up, cable modem.
Hotmail.
Right?
AOL Messenger.
Right? So I didn't know how I was going to do it. So
America
AIM,
Online.
AIM. Oh my
I actually didn't have an AOL though.
Oh, because you're probably in London.
Yeah,
It's America
that was
Online.
more MSN or Hotmail.
I didn't have
at the
an
time.
AOL.
Yeah.
But then after that, I kind of just practiced. I just practiced songwriting on my own. I went through college, and then my mum passed away. So I actually took a break from following my dream as such, and I decided, okay, I have to go to university. And so I went to study music entertainment industry management at the University of Hertfordshire. And we had a Korean girl in our class called Hani. Well, she just reminded me, you know, you like this K-pop thing. You need to go start writing it again. So then I went and started to write K-pop again. And, you know, by this time I had grown, I'd kind of changed my sound. And so I started to write K-pop more. And then I reached back out to my professor from college who still had the publishing company.
The Stevie dude from the 80s?
Money talks.
Right? Money talks. And I gave him some of the demos. And then he cut one of my songs with a girl group called, maybe it was like D-Unit. There was a girl group.
D-Unit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know D-Unit, yes.
There was a girl group called
D-Unit. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
They did hip-hop back then. And back then, it wasn't that hip-hop stuff. It was like girl generation, like pretty stuff. But
there wasn't a
D-Unit
lot
did
of,
that.
was coming, and that's
I know,
what I wanted to give to K-pop. I was like, let me.
That swag. What's up?
And so I did a song for them. I think I can't remember what they called it. This was so long ago. I don't remember, but I remember that they were dope. And when I was told that I got a cut, and I didn't know what that meant. I was so upset. I was like, what do you mean?
You
got cut.
You got cut.
Yeah.
I was like, how could they? What do you mean they cut it?
It's that music industry lingo, you know?
For sure.
Right? And he was like, no, Charlotte, this is a good thing. Like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you come again? He was like, no, they've taken the song. I was like, really? No. And I remember crying. I'd just come out of my class and I was crying. And then so I got a cut with them. And then there was another group, I think called Something Boys.
The Something Boys.
They had a song called Tarzan. I can't remember.
Oh.
Boys, Something Boys.
태연이가 있었던 Tarzan. Tarzan. What's the name of the boy? The boy group. The member from that group, I signed him as my first solo artist.
Oh.
Really?
Yes. That's crazy.
Wonder Boys?
Wonder Boys.
Yeah.
He signed with me. And
That's
then he went to
crazy.
military service right now.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have known him if
That's
because the song was Tarzan. I was like, what?
Yes.
Tarzan.
I remember in the group they had one guy. He had like an afro and glasses.
Right.
When you look at the video on that, I was like, wow, they got afros out here now. Like he had some glasses. I was like, okay. And then I did an album song for them, and then I took a break. because I just had to figure out what I really wanted to do.
But just from listening to you, like you have these breaks, but all these breaks actually meant something, and it always added up to something.
Like
it helped you with your
exactly
journey where you are now.
But this was a long break. We're talking about a 5-year break.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because when my mum passed away, I didn't quite deal with it because I just had to study. And once I finished university, I think I finished university in like 2012, 2013. I then took a break.
Yeah.
A really long one, right?
Wow.
I just needed to figure out what I wanted to do. I wasn't too sure how I was going to make it into K-pop. I just didn't know. Then after 5 years, I was like, okay, I'm ready. By that time, the amount of people that had come into K-pop and listened, but the amount of writers now that had jumped on it, that were international. And I was just like, wow, I really missed this train. I was like, damn, what's happened?
I mean, 5 years is an eternity in K-pop world.
Exactly.
Terms.
It really
5 months is like
yeah.
If you disappear for 5 months, it's like, are you still alive?
Exactly.
Because that's why they have comebacks every month.
But I don't think you missed the train. I think it was the perfect timing for you to get on the right train.
Right.
Because
and that's why. So after that, I then decided, okay, what is my sound? What do I want to do? You know, one of the writers that I look up to is Esther Dean.
Oh yeah.
Right. She just
dope writer.
Yes.
Yeah. She's just wicked. And I remember her saying, you know, I think she did a talk and she was just saying, you know, make sure your demos sound wicked.
Right.
You know, make sure you have, you know, perfected your sound.
Yeah.
You know, what is it that people, when they listen to it, are they going to hear you in the song?
Right.
So I actually went and did that. I did that for about 2 years. So we're talking about 2017 now.
Okay.
So I've skipped out all that time from 2013 or 2012 to 2017.
Yeah.
I start writing again. And in 2017, I actually don't get any cuts. None. Because I don't think I was ready. So then by 2018 now, that's when everything starts to pick up. Because I've now decided, okay, I know what I sound like. I know who I want to write for.
Right.
I kind of know how to get to them. I just need to, you know, not give up.
Yeah.
And I started off getting J-pop cuts.
Right.
And so I got a couple of J-pop cuts. And then I got The Boys. And I got The Boys because I decided to recruit 2 more members. Because I felt like, okay, I have all these ideas I want to write, but I actually write male songs better than female songs. But I'm not a male, so I can't really sing the demos all the time.
Right.
So I meet a girl called Frankie, Frankie Day, and she's married to a guy called Jacob. And Jacob Aaron. And both of them have beautiful voices. And I was like, okay, I'm going to live through you guys. I am.
You guys are going to do the vocal cuts?
Yeah, you guys are just going to vocal everything that I can't, you know, and that's literally how it formed. So we started to write together. All the male songs Jacob would do, the female songs I would do, or Frankie would do, or we'll mesh our vocals.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my demo sounding a lot cleaner.
Right.
Because I didn't just always want to hear my voice. I wanted to mimic that group sound.
Exactly. No, that's how it is, because some executive producers, when they listen to music and they just hear one voice and they're trying to get a song for a group, they can't split up the parts and imagine. You know?
Right?
So you need different voices to play different characters for that group. You know? And now you're getting that.
Right.
You know? Right.
So then everything kind of changed from there. We got The Boys. Jacob did a wonderful demo and it was called Butterfly. Then
another crazy thing, I was a trainee with Seong from The Boys.
Really?
I was a trainee with him for 3 years. It's a small world.
Yeah.
It's a small world.
No, it really is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, The Boys, like, they're fabulous. And then after that, behind the scenes, while all of that's going on, I come into contact with Brian Yu again.
My good friend, Brian. And we all know Brian. Yes.
And this was, you know, previously I'd been to Korea time and time again, and I'd met Brian. And this time he just reached out and he was like, hey, you know, I'm thinking of starting a production company. I was like, that's what I want to do too. I want to start a production company. So then he was like, okay, let's do it.
He needed you, you needed him.
Yeah, but he believed in me. That's
the most important.
It was just crazy though. You know, just he didn't really know me like that to trust me with the process and things like that, right? So we came in 2019, beginning of 2019, me, Frankie, and Jacob, and we wrote all these songs, right? And we had a producer called Enan.
Yeah, I know.
We still have Enan.
Yeah.
And we did all these songs, like literally all of us, and all of them cut.
Amazing.
Yeah, we did about 15.
That's what actually gave Brian the boost to make the hub a name.
Yes.
The actual page.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Because back then he was more focused on mixing stuff, mastering, and then recording the studio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I think that gave the boost for him to, all right, I'm going to publish this thing.
Yeah. So Brian, so I remember we sat down, he was like, I don't know what to call it. I'm like, yo, we're a hub of like people, call it the hub. He was like,
that's where you got the hub.
The hub? He was like, that doesn't make sense.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so I had to literally explain it to him, you know, because
in Korean it's the habu.
Yeah.
Right? Where are you from?
So he didn't understand it. So I had to literally break it down. I was like, you know, a collection, like a group of things, you know, it's like a hub. It all comes under one. He was like, oh, okay. then he came up with these other names. I was like, no, Brian, it's the hub. What are you talking about, man? In my head, it was already called the hub. Yeah. So he was going through these other names, like Mystic Music. What's that? I was like, no.
There's already something similar. Mystic Entertainment.
It's the hub. So then with Brian, like, I'm not too sure if he really listens to me or he just kind of lets me talk because I like to talk, right? So then when he gave me the logo, I was like, oh, he listened to me.
Because it was just literally the hub. Right.
And the hub was born.
And I told him, I think how I got him into it was U Productions is his. He's Brian U. I said, look, but the U in the hub is U Production from the U. It's the U.
That's how you got him.
You sold that to him. You literally sold that to him.
And you know how the U is red? I was like, okay, so just make the hub sign red and put the U. It's yours. It's you. And then it became the hub.
I could just imagine Brian be like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. And he did it. And then I recruited more members. Mm-hmm. So it was me, Frankie, and Jacob that started, and Enan. And then I went to a camp in Sweden, and I met other members. Mm-hmm. And they were really dope. And I was like, okay, well, we kind of started something. Do you want to come and join? And they just kind of followed. They didn't know what the hub was yet. They were just...
And it became this big pact.
Yeah. And we're kind of like a family now. And then we had our first camp at the end of 2020. When 2020.
Yeah, and then you guys had all the water, the paper, all that thing set up at the studio.
That was Brian, man. Brian loved it. I know he did.
He wanted to professionally look good. He brought in other A&Rs to show them that we're really doing a song camp. And I was there too. Yeah. I was like, yo, what is this? He's like, oh, 우리 song camp play. Oh, wow. He's really, because it was water. Mm-hmm. It was just water bottle.
Mugs as well.
Mugs. And he put the hub song.
Oh, wow. He went full out.
Yeah.
With the merch.
Right?
Because people don't do that. Even like, I'm signed with Warner. I was signed with Universal before. Yeah. If it's a song camp, we just go in there and just work. Yeah. But he wanted to give that whole vibe that we're officially doing this.
Yeah, we're open for business.
Yeah, I really liked that. So when we got there and stuff, I saw everything and he was so proud. I was like, oh, you know what? This is going to be dope. It was so nice. Like he trusted me to collect everyone and, you know, say this person's good. This person can do this. This person can do that, you know, and just get everyone together. And when we had that camp, we called that the Kang Daniel camp only because we did a lot of songs for Kang Daniel. Yeah. And
he was he's still hot, and back then he was the hottest.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I didn't even know
because he was chosen by the people to be number one. Yeah. It's not like you debut and you go number one. He was chosen before he debuted to be number one. He won Produce 101.
I did not know
he was number one.
He was in 101, right?
101, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he was the main. Like,
no, he was the main. He was the center. He was the main. He was
number one.
So no, it's kind of crazy. It's like if you imagine the Korean people actually voting for this person to be number one. I mean, and you got a cut for that album. It's fire.
So Kang Daniel, at the time, I didn't know who he was.
Okay.
Right, so Brian kind of explained, and I was like, man, Brian, I don't know who this man is. What do you mean?
Yeah. That's you with everybody, though. Let's be honest. And we're like, so-and-so, and you're like, who?
Yeah, no, so I was
And then later, when you see a picture,
I'm like,
oh. So Marshall, is that how she is? Is that how Charlotte is?
Well, I don't want to air out all her dirty laundry, but
I kind of am. Like, I'm like, man, I don't know who this person is. I'm like, let me see a picture. I'm like, right. Okay, so what, he come into the studio? Yeah. All right, just tell me because I need to look good that day, you know? They have to remember me. Yeah. All right? So I didn't know who Kang Daniel was. Andy and Charles were his A&R at the time. Yeah. Dope guys. Yeah. And the song that I cut with him was called Runaway. And I wrote that on the first day of the camp.
Oh, yes. Wow.
We had, the producers advance gave us 20 tracks to pick from, right? And I just went through them. I was like, nah, this is it. I heard it. I was like, no, this is it. It's different and it's just cool.
The timing is crazy because it can't, when you're an artist, it's hard for you to go number one and start your own label. Yeah. Right after he made a lot of money off that Produce 101 show, he got that investment and he started his own label. So musically, if there were other Korean people involved in it, then you probably would have had a harder time making that cut. Yeah. But it was him calling the shots. Yes. That's why it was like, if he liked it,
and that's what I was shocked
about. Which is rare.
He was,
with the artist actually calling the shots.
Right. He was personally,
invested.
Yeah. And so I was really shocked about that. And I think at the time I didn't know how significant that was. But now I do. Because now we have A&Rs, we have CEOs
calling
making
you
the shots.
All the things.
But it was Kang Daniel that was doing it, and he's a very chill guy. When he came into the studio, he was just normal, you know? And so that track, it was originally called Ya. I think they called it Runaway, but it was just called Ya. Yeah. And when I wrote it, I imagined Kang Daniel singing it. Yeah. And so when I heard that it cut, I was like, yes, that's so dope. We're just going to have a dope sounding track, reggae vibes. And then I heard about Yamda. I didn't know who Yamda was. So I'm like, but who is this guy now? Yes. Someone showed me his Instagram.
He's been around for a while. Yeah.
Yo.
But he blew up too recently.
Yeah, I know he blew up. It took him so long. Yeah. But I think it was meant to be because back then he didn't have that vibe, and at the same time Korea wasn't ready for that vibe either. And now
they're ready now.
They're flexing, everybody flexing.
Seems like that guy. He's got that swag and stuff, and he's that vibe. He seemed really cool as well. Yeah. So then off of that first camp, we also cut a song called Jealous, and we wrote that at that camp too. So then obviously we built momentum. Now we're like, let's go as a team. And then after that, I think we got the ASTRO title. Yeah. I got
that Kang Daniel title. That made the drive. I talked with Brian about this too. I don't know if you felt it as much as he felt it, but if you could go out there and be like, who'd you write for? I mean, who did the hub write for?
Yeah.
Kang Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Give us some tracks, give us some music. So I think that even the Tarzan, the boys, all that I don't think that was Kang Daniel.
It was Kang Daniel that really did it for the hub, and Brian was so proud of that. And I didn't know at the time how significant that was. I really didn't. It wasn't. I just didn't know. Yeah.
After you guys made that cut, I went out for a cigarette with Brian, and he just had this aura. His shoulders were
made it.
I made it. He's like, so Sam, how'd you get that investment? I'm trying to get the investment. I'm like, you want to talk business talk now, right? So no, it gave him that boost. I was so happy for him. I was really happy for him because he worked hard to build that studio, run that studio, finding finding the right people, So
I love that.
Yeah, I think I appreciate him the most for just trusting a random black girl out of nowhere.
Not out of nowhere.
Well, it kind of was because we spoke on Instagram. He DM'd me and was like, yeah, this is the plan. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, let's go.
Dude, DMs is how people talk these days, I feel.
And that was it. And then, I'm the loudest person. And it's so funny because when you look at both of us, we're such opposites, but we go so well.
That's so crazy. It's like you said, a random black girl's melody line hitting Asian ears, Korean ears, and making a difference in kids' lives. Because 16-year-old and 17-year-old girls, they listen to Kang Daniel's album, go crying, go crazy.
I know.
And that's your melody line.
I know. His fandom is strong.
It's crazy.
It's a movement.
maniacs.
Yo, he's got a big fandom out there. Like they're strong for him, and I really appreciate. I really appreciate the fans. Like they do everything. So that was really dope. Then after that, we got ASTRO.
Chownu. We talked about it before.
So we got the ASTRO title Knock. That kind of then just was like, Brian was just like, yeah, okay, so we can do everything. Let's just
and
do
that's
it.
before Chownu was as big as he is right now. Yeah.
Right. Like, it's crazy. So then I've just been at the hub writing and stuff. This was all during
COVID, I think.
It was
or right
Corona.
After, or
it
end
was
of
during
COVID.
Corona.
Yeah.
And then how'd you meet?
So we met through Instagram, actually.
Yes. So
who DM'd who?
I replied to his story.
What was the story?
I don't remember. It was something about something to do with being in Korea. And then he was like, oh, you're in Korea? I'm like, yeah.
You guys were following each other?
I was following Marshall, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I knew about Marshall.
Okay.
Yes. I knew about Marshall for a while. Like, I knew his music and everything for a while. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, I think even Frankie showed me who you were.
Oh, wow.
Frankie's a team member.
You just never know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I wanted to actually, so this is still along the same line, but because you didn't mention it, and I don't know why, maybe on purpose, but I do want to speak on, because before the hub, the way that you came back into the Korean music industry, the K-pop music industry, like so after that huge break, where you went through your mental health journey and all of that, which we're going to speak on that later, is through a particular track by ITZY. It's called Not Shy, which was kind of almost like your return back into the K-pop. And that was a major track. And I heard your demo because you played it for me. And that demo was pretty much identical to the actual song that ended up coming out. Yeah. And that was you weren't using Frankie, you weren't using anyone on your team. That was all you. It was all your voice. Your everything. So let me know a little bit about.
Yeah, so how Not Shy came about was the hub was still formed though. This was after Kang Daniel, it was before Kang Daniel.
Yeah, it was before.
It was before, but the hub was still formed.
The entity was there.
Yes.
It had just started.
Yes, the teammates were still there. Everything. Yes. I think this was before Runaway, but after Jealous for Kang Daniel. So in between
before you guys got big.
Yeah. And so one of my old publishers that I had sent me an urgent request and was like, this is a song for ITZY. But before we go there, when I was at Brian's studio, I met ITZY.
Okay.
During them recording, I think, not the Dala Dala phase, I think the Icy phase that album. And I was like, wow, I really want to work for them. And at this time I had done nothing big yet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I really want to write for them. Like, I wish I could write for them. It would just be a dream. I met them. They were nice. Their A&R was Jane at the time from JYP.
I know Jane.
And Brian introduced us. And I just remember saying to Brian, like, will I ever write for them? Brian was like, yeah, sure. Like, you can do everything. Cool. So then fast forward now and I get this. And I worked in 9 to 5 at this time. Okay. I was an IT project manager.
Yeah.
In London currently. Yeah.
And I got the email, look, you need to get this done in 48 hours. Can you do it?
You did?
Frankie was sick. I was like, damn, she's not gonna sing this. So I have to sing it myself. Cool. So then I heard the beat, and as soon as I heard it, I knew, boom, I'm gonna kill this, right? And the reference was Lizzo.
Oh.
And Lizzo is my kind of style anyway, right? So
as writers, all of us, we know when we hear the beat, we're just like, we're gonna
right?
Yeah.
So I wrote Not Shy in about an hour and a half, the whole top line, and then I recorded it in about an hour to 2 hours, and then I was like, all right. This song didn't have a topic, but it was called Big Boots. So
in Korea, big boots might be a little bit harder. You know?
What does that mean?
Big boots.
Big boots.
Yeah, big boots. I mean, look, when I have to write a really quick top line.
In 48 hours? And you wrote it in 3 hours? That's insane.
You know, so the topic was kind of rude. It wasn't Not Shy, okay? It was, it was a bit crazy. But I won't say it because it's PG-13.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I wrote it and I sent it off. And I was like, man.
Was it Jane who got it?
It was the publisher got it. So they just sent it off to whoever, I guess.
It's probably Jane.
And then in my head, I was like, look, I've put ITZY in this damn chorus. If they don't take this song and it's got their name in it, I swear to you, I don't know what's I'm just gonna quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember telling myself that because in the chorus it says ITZY, right? I'm like,
that's all. Yeah, it was exactly.
Yeah. I was like, look, nobody has done this. They ain't said their name in the chorus. Just take the song. Anyway.
It's like Big Bang saying Big Bang
Right?
in the music.
They should have done that.
But they took it.
They took it.
They took it.
But
all
a year and a half later, they took it. So with that song, what I heard from JYP was that song got dropped. It was on hold for their JYP group, Japanese group, sorry,
NITZY, yes.
And it got dropped from them, and then it just got put in the bin.
Oh, wow.
And then it was an A&R from JYP Publishing, Hyunwoo. He took it out the bin and was like, no, listen to this song again. This could be your title, okay? And then that's how I heard it became Not Shy.
Wow.
But I didn't hear that it was cut. I heard in a DM that it got cut.
Oh. So you didn't even know it was out until...
They had already shot the video and recorded it.
Oh, wow.
And the producer, Kobe, he messaged me. He was like, hey, Shah, so, I was in the studio at ITZY. I was like, you what? For what? Charlotte, do you know who I am? He was like, yeah, you wrote Big Boots. I'm like, yeah. So, and this was a Sunday, and I was in the park drinking, and
as one does on a Sunday in the park.
Well, because it was in the middle of the COVID, and everything was closed, so I was drinking in the park with my friends.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "Yeah, didn't you know it was their title?" I was like, "I think you have the wrong person, Kobe. Just say what you're saying again, please." Like, I was like, "What are you talking about?" At this point, I'm getting upset, but I'm starting to cry because I can't understand what's happening.
Oh, shit.
And then he's like, it's the new title. Yeah. I said, what? I just started crying, like big open mouth. And he sent me the Korean guide, and that's when I knew.
Usually when people buy the songs, they let you know that they bought the song and that you don't hear from them. And then later on, when they're about to release, they have to take care of the publishing. And then you hear back from them, right?
Right.
So they skip that whole front part, the first procedure. And then right when the song was about to come out, they have to take care of the publishing. So who wrote this song? Charlie Wilson wrote this song.
We need to find her quick. Yeah. And I called Brian. Yeah. I said, hey, Brian.
Oh, shit.
So remember that song I sent you, like, last year? He was like, the one where you sound weird.
That sounds like what he would say.
I was like, yeah.
He probably regrets saying that shit now.
I remind him all the time. Yeah,
Do I sound weird again?
Yeah. I'm like, you're going to say I sound weird. I don't sound weird. But I remember he's like, the one that sounds weird. I'm like, yeah. Well, it's ITZY's new title. He was like, what? Are you sure? I was like, what do you mean am I sure? Can I not write an ITZY title? He was like, no, of course you can. But are you sure it's that one? I said, yes. What do you mean? I sent it to him again. He was like, this is a dope song. I was like, no, you didn't say that before. Okay. He was
and actually you proved yourself to him that there was work coming. It's like he wasn't, you're not, I mean, it's good. You're all for good, but
Yeah.
Brian was like, oh man, Charlie got the song
by herself.
No, but he was, as soon as I told him, he was like, you see, this is why the hub is great. Because you see, he went on one of them, he's like, you got a JYP title. He went and told everybody. So everybody knew. And so when I came back to Korea, I came when Not Shy came out. So then before I even, met everyone knew, oh, congratulations.
You're the
even Kang Daniel's people were like, congrats on Not Shy. Yeah. The day after I told Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, Brian, but wait, you went and told everyone. He's like, of course, I have to tell everyone, with the hub, like, I have to.
And the crazy thing is you've been writing for a lot of boys, and this one is,
was this your first girl group?
Yeah.
It's a girl group.
Yes.
So
that's my amazing. First girl group, and it was a title and one that I wanted. Yeah. I always wanted to, they were my goal, right? Yeah. And it was crazy that I'd set out to do something and I did it. And I think I was blown away. I think I was overwhelmed at the time. I was really overwhelmed. Like, I couldn't believe it. COVID had just happened, so the world's going crazy. I'm actually moving to Korea because I had planned to in 2020 anyway to move. So I'm trying to, pack up my life. COVID's happening, and then I just got this huge song.
And then now you're financially you could kind of build yourself here. Yeah. You got a job.
Right? I was like, yeah. Well, Kang Daniel sells as well. So from that, I was already, that was kind of nice.
In the back.
And then ASTRO kind of sells as well. So then that was cool. And then I got ITZY. And I just couldn't believe that I was doing what I set out to do. Yeah. That I was achieving what I wanted to.
Your mom must be proud.
What? Like, I can't even imagine what she would have been saying. But yeah, she'd have been proud. And
definitely.
Off of Not Shy came all the attention.
Yeah. Right.
Everyone finally wanted to know who I was and what my story was. And, there were people that stuck with me from the beginning, though, when I had this dream. And, so that's kind of when everyone kind of noticed, oh, okay, so maybe she can write then.
Did you guys work on music together at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when she hit me up and we started chatting, I was like, well, okay, if you're in, because at the time you had just moved to Korea, like as permanently like living here. And I was like, oh my God, you're in town, let's meet up. And so we did, and we worked on a song, which will be coming out, I don't know, to be determined. Yeah. Someday soon.
It's for another artist or is it
for me?
Oh, for you.
Marshall, Nice. I wanted to write for Marshall.
Oh.
No, it's like as a producer and a writer myself too, I've always wrote for boys because it was easy for me to make the vocal cuts. And then I've always wanted to do a girl group, like how you felt like I wanted to. So I was like, I want to write for a girl group. And when I made that first cut for Miss A, I was like,
you did a Miss A cut?
Yeah.
Which
I did
one?
Gia's solo song too. It was Gia's solo album too, the Chinese member. And then I've been producing her since then.
Oh, nice.
So that was my my bridge into China because she was Chinese.
Yeah.
And then China has this whole different market,
oh my gosh.
where they pay you up front.
Yes, I've had Chinese cuts before.
So I was like, I did like 10 song deals, like 20 song deals, and they'll give you just bulk of cash,
Huge wad.
Back then, because the publishing wasn't that set, but now I regret doing it because the publishing is set
now, right?
So when I just got this global deal with Warner Chappell, now when I sell songs to China, I'm like, hey, you don't have to pay me up front. I want all of my publishing and royalties just as it is. You just have to wait a long time.
Yes.
But the money is still there, Yeah. So like that's crazy. Like you wrote for boys, solo artists, a girl group, a boy group.
Yeah.
Different genres.
Yes. It's been crazy. I think people assume because I'm a female, I'll write female songs more. But I write male songs more only because naturally my swag suits male songs more. Yeah. Because it's more aggressive. Yeah. And
I think it'll give that different vibe when a girl gives that aggressive-ness.
That female energy.
Yeah.
Do
you ever think about releasing your own music?
You know what? So I've never wanted to be an artist.
Why?
But
what was that?
I don't know. It was just never a thought of mine. But I am thinking of doing something. Okay.
Only you never know.
You're building up that momentum, eh?
Yeah. I'm getting interested in it, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Take your time with it.
For me, it was the other way around. I started as an artist.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm done with this. And then I was scared to start producing for others. I was like, I need to build up momentum for this. I need to do this. And then when I made a change and I was like, oh, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like, thank you, God. I was, happy with where I am.
So you feel good where you're at right now. Yeah. That's really good.
And now that I think it's all of us, but we have that energy where, like DJ Khaled, it's less about the quality of the music. It's how you set up that vibe in the studio. And it's how you sell the music. It's selling is part of the deal too, So
we're literally selling songs to entertainment companies.
Yeah, that energy that probably Brian and you give out to other entertainment companies, it's different from where other Korean producers, they're just like, oh, no, you kind of pitch it to them very respectfully. Yeah. You don't go all crazy, But I could imagine Brian and you kind of, driving these A&Rs and executives into the corner and be like, yo, this is the shit.
They have a nice balance.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, we do. We balance it out. Like, Brian is like, more straight-faced and very, proper. And I'm just loud.
After our show, I'm going to call up Brian and be like, Young, I just interviewed Charlotte. What? What? I'm gonna call O'Brien.
He's gonna, because he knows I'm doing this, but I just wasn't sure who I was doing it with. I was like, Marshall. He was like, because he really likes Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he super likes Marshall. He's like, yeah.
No.
He's like, if I'm going out, it needs to be with Marshall because I'm gonna be safe.
That's dope.
Right? So he doesn't care. But if it's not with Marshall, he's like, well, where you going? What you doing?
Well, shit. Thank you, Marshall, for having her on. And thank you, Charlotte, for coming on. The first time I ever heard about Marshall was Show Me the Money.
Oh, wow.
I was watching Show Me the Money. I see this guy come out with a fur coat.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck is that fur coat? What is that? What's coming up? And then he started singing.
Yeah.
And then I looked him up, and then he was at Feel Good Music. And the crazy thing is, like, you know, you saw Rain, and that Rain got into the whole K-pop thing. For me, it was Drunken Tiger. I wasn't listening to any K-pop, like nothing. I was listening to Nas, Jay-Z was hot back then, all of that. And then one of my youngs at church, he gives me this album.
I love that I was like young at church.
Yeah, and it's Drunken Tiger. It's Drunken Tiger. I'm like, Drunken Tiger? The fuck is... I heard the album, and I was blown away that Koreans do hip-hop.
Yeah.
And Tiger JK actually has a real good story. You know, it's not just about flexing money.
It's
and shit.
really insane.
Back then, it was all about skin on your, you know, the color of your skin, all of that. And then I looked up Marshall, and he was under Feel Good Music. So I'm like, if it's Tiger JK signing this guy has to be something. And then
that little cosign helped.
And that was that first time I ever bumped into, like, heard about Marshall. And then I was getting ready for this podcast, and then my partners and all the producers, they're just like, Sam, you have to interview Marshall. I'm like, who the fuck is Marshall? I'm sorry, that's how I was.
Just like that, huh?
No, because after that Show Me the Money, I'd never like heard your music or I never saw it. Like, so I was like, and then Bobby, our producer, he was just like, Sam, Marshall. He's like, he has his, what's that new app? Where you
Clubhouse.
Oh.
He speaks really well. He's funny. He's he's witty. He has that. So I was like, all right, we'll interview him. And then there were some issues with the podcast, and then I wanted to meet him up in person. You know, so I just randomly hit him up. I was like, Marshall, this is happening. I need to see you. So and then we talked about it. We're like, let's give it a try. And then we're looking for our first guest, our first, you know, person to have on, and then like, Marshall brought up you. So
thanks. Yeah, he messaged me. I was like, really, podcast? When? In my head, I was like, when do you do podcasts? But I was in a session at the time, so I was just like, yeah, boom. Like I immediately said, yeah, for sure.
But I think this would be a good inspiration for people who really love K-pop, and they love music, and they want to write, or they're scared to move out of their zone, their comfort zone. You know?
Yeah, it is like I didn't know how I'd do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know how I was gonna get out of my 9 to 5, make it to Korea.
It's a very big move,
right? And then write full time. I just didn't know, but I just knew I was gonna do it. Like I was so driven. I was like, okay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this, and stuff. And so about 2 years gearing up to leave, like I didn't date. I was like, no, I'm not going to meet anyone and date because I'm moving. And I'm moving. I don't know how. At that point, I didn't know how, but I'm moving. So I'm just not going to meet anyone. I'm moving. So when I finally did move, I felt like I was home.
Oh, wow.
This feels like I'm home. Like the UK doesn't feel like home.
It's the other way around for me right now. I've been here for 13 years and I still feel like a foreigner, even though I'm Korean blood, even though I have family, because all my family is back at home. All my memories, all my friends, everything, the smell of the trees, the morning birds that I woke up to, everything is in the States. And the only thing I hear when I wake up in Korea is buses and cars and honking.
Where do you live?
Right by Gangnam Station. Right by Gangnam Station.
That's why.
So like when it hits like these days, it's better. I mean, it's not better. It's the same, but a little bit earlier. When it becomes like 3, 4 in the morning, when I open my window, I hear people yakking.
Yeah.
But now it's like at 9 p.m. I hear people yakking because they're drinking at an earlier time. Right. You know? But in the States, when I'm at home, I don't hear anything but the wind and birds, like in the suburbs of Chicago. You get what I'm saying? Cute. So you feel like it's home. For me, I'm Korean, but I feel like I'm a foreigner, you know? So, and you brought up dating. I have a question. Would you ever date a Korean guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm open to dating.
Nice.
Everybody. I date a Korean guy for sure. I ain't found one yet, but if there's any out there, then they need to hit me up.
Are Korean guys a lot different from guys from London?
Oh yeah, a lot of them are shy.
Like the mannerism, or they're Korean people are shy.
Yeah, Yeah.
Well, with foreigners, I think.
With foreigners. Not with each other. They're passive aggressive with each other. I've been seeing it. He's just, you know, 2 days ago, I just saw 2 old men fight in the street. And I'm just like, what's going on? But, you know, like they were fighting, but not really. Like they were nudging each other and shouting. I'm like, look, dude, is this a real fight? Like, what's going on?
That's Korea. The law is different. So it depends on who throws the first blow.
So nobody
blows.
That's
nobody
so
throws that first blow.
Everybody was just kind of shoving and kind of like pushing. The friend was trying to split them up, and then someone tried to swing when he was far away. So what's the point in that?
I'm so embarrassed right now.
But Korean guys, they do seem shy in towards foreigners, but as soon as people start to drink, they're another person.
Yeah, that drink culture really adds that extra layer
they get, you know,
liquid courage,
right? Out of nowhere.
I wish I drank. I don't drink at all. So like
that's a good choice. Yeah, don't do it. No, not again. I'm kind of not drinking as well.
Are you?
For a bit. Yeah.
So you haven't hooked up with a Korean guy yet?
No, I haven't. And if people keep asking me, seriously, Sha, I'm like, no, I haven't.
Marshall, come on. Make them, like, find somebody for you.
You need to figure it out.
No one's good enough for my Charlotte.
Oh,
gosh,
shit.
no, don't do that.
It's
Anybody
the truth.
is good enough. Like, you know my type.
Do I?
Yeah.
Look at that look.
I do.
Everybody.
I do.
Log into our, come into our YouTube channel. You got to see that look that Charlotte just gave Marshall, you know? You got to see it.
You know my type.
So I actually wanted to pivot a little bit. You touched upon this just a little bit ago, but I just find it really incredible with like the whole idea of manifesting your destiny, which I feel like you did. Like you said, you were, you know, doing a 9-to-5. You didn't know how you were going to make it happen, but you did. And you're at this point where you're kind of on a roll.
Yes.
And I wanted to bring up, because you helped me with this as well, is mental health. And like the whole mental health journey and how that, because we've had conversations about that in private about how it really helped with bringing you back into songwriting and making music again. Because, you know, you had to go through that whole period after your mom passed away. Having to find your center again. And how, you know, going through that whole mental health process, you know, talking to therapists, getting treatment really helped you. And as a result, you know, Not Shy happened, Kang Daniel happened, all this happened. Yeah. Want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. So I think my mental health issue stemmed from my mum passing. I didn't deal with it at the time. I kind of packed it away in a box for years, right? And then it caught up with me in like 2013. And I still didn't deal with it then. And I took a 5-year break. So then in 2017, it got really bad. Like I was really depressed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't write. I just felt like, you know, everything was just so dark. Like there was nothing positive. I couldn't change it. And it really stopped me from writing, right? And then there's this whole stigma with medication, you know, and you shouldn't take medication. You know, my family's a Caribbean family and they're not really open to the idea. And, you know, so it didn't really look good. But I had literally come to the end. I was like, I have to get help. So I just went to my doctor. I explained, and she spoke to me about going on medication. And in the UK, they offer 9 weeks free counselling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is really good. So I went to that counselling, and I decided for myself that I wanted to go on medication. It was just something that I felt like I had tried all this time to battle myself and I just couldn't do it. So I just need something. And so I decided to go on medication. I spoke to some family members about it and they were fully supportive, but I didn't tell many people. And it was literally the best decision I made. It's like...
Just talking about medication, self-medicating is wrong. Self-medicating is wrong. Either that could be alcohol, that could be pills, but just self-medicating is wrong. I've been on medication my whole life. It wasn't a choice I made that I had to tell my family I want to medicate. I'm going to be on medication. It was something that I had to be on and still on. So every 2 weeks, I still have to go in, get medicated.
Right.
I get my medication, therapy session, all that. Some people need that to just move on with their life, just function. You know? Yeah. But there was a point in my life where I was like, I wanted to self-medicate. That really dug a big hole in my life. Like it was wrong. I went through that phase in my life, you know? Now I'm perfectly fine. It was because I was bipolar. And it's something that you can never fix.
Yes.
Maybe depression, maybe down...
It's different for different people.
Different people, right? You could heal yourself. But it was like, I tried everything and I'm a very... I believe in religion, you know? And then it kind of gives me a center in my life. And then... there's relationship with God, and then the medication, and then the family support. With that,
it really, it does, and that's literally what happened with me. I went on medication, and I felt like I could see. I know it sounded weird, but I just felt like I could see everything, and it's literally what started me writing again. I got inspiration. I realized that, you know, thinking negatively, I didn't need to. Okay. I could think positively about situations. You know, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you know, I've got me, I've got my health, I've got everybody around. So, you know, if something bad does happen, it's not the end of the world. Like, don't think that, you know, it's the end of the world. And so I could just see everything. And then I started to write again.
That's great.
And that's where I started to write all these songs.
For the listeners outside of Korea, like in Korea 10 years ago, or even now, mental health issues weren't something that you could kind of bring up and talk freely about, or the adults or like family members, the elders, they have a different perspective on mental health issues. So when I first came to Korea, I needed to look for the right doctor. So I brought all my medical records. I had to meet the right doctor. And my mom told my aunt to take me to the right doctor. My aunt was like,
What doctor?
너 교회, go to church. You need to pray more.
Right?
너 담배, it's like, it's because you smoke too much cigarettes. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with it. It's just separate. And then
a lot of misconceptions.
Now they understand a little bit, because they've seen me without the medication and they see me with the medication. But it's not like if you medicate yourself and you're high, it's not that. You just become normal. You know? So,
and that's what people like, that's why I explained. I said this medication aren't like some people call antidepressants happy pills. I'm like, no, they didn't make me happy. They made me normal. I still experience sadness. Like, you know, I get down just like everybody else.
Because you lose that medium when you're not on the meds. You don't find the middle. You know?
It just, you know, it was crazy. And I realized coming to Korea, wow, they're a couple steps behind the UK. Mental health is really big in the UK. So coming here and, you know, bless him, someone like Brian, who probably doesn't really, he's never experienced someone with mental health issues, came across myself. And I had to sit him down and explain it to him. And now he fully understands it. He helped me find a doctor here and someone that I could talk to who could then also, you know, give me medication as well. But it wasn't easy to do. You know, I thought it was a lot easier being here. But now it's fine and I have a doctor and everything. But mental health is one of the biggest things for me. And, you know, growing up, I didn't think it would be. But now I realize it's what made me. Once I figured that out, I changed and just became the me I wanted to be. You know, the me that when I was depressed, I had to fake to be the me that I am now. Right? And so I had to put on that mask and smile and stuff and then go home and I'd literally be shattered. And now that's just me.
You know, like sometimes people, they don't have the craft and they don't have the talent, but they have a very strong mentality, which allows them to, you know, like build up their craft and their talent. Sometimes people they're talented, they're gifted, they're geniuses, they're amazing, but they have a very weak mentality, or they never get fixed, or they never find help or find the courage to get help. And then they never have a chance to sprout, you know? So
and do what they wanted to. So yeah, mental health, that journey has been, good. So when, I came in contact with you and you were going through your own thing, I was like pushing you, look, boom, go and talk to somebody. You may want to look at medication. You don't have to, but you may just want to try this. It saved my life. It helped me,
Yeah, I mean, you were such a huge, I'm so thankful and grateful that you're in my life at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, because not just with COVID, because, once COVID hit the world, everyone was going through a mental breakdown. Yeah. And I was fine. Like, I took a few months to like figure things out, but I was fine when 2020 hit. And I figured myself out. But physically, I had a really extreme case of really bad back, and it was a herniated disc that was like really messed up, and I couldn't move, I couldn't sleep. It was tough to bend down to tie my shoelaces. To sleep, I had to put my feet up on, I sold my bed because the mattress was too soft. I had to sleep on 2 yoga mats with my legs up on a chair. It was rough. It hurt to stand, it hurt to walk, it hurt to do anything. And so I went to so many different doctors, went to so many different places, different medication. Nothing was getting better. And so, if you're not getting the right amount of sleep, if you're not eating correctly, if you're not able to walk or stand or sleep, your mental health just like drops. It just drops. I had no motivation to do music. It took me, it was really rough at the beginning of this year, and it started to get worse and worse and worse, to the point where I was like, oh, wow, like I'm starting to get these like really dark thoughts. And I would say I'm pretty strong mentally. Like I'm very much positive as well. I'm a pretty positive person. I'm not someone that kind of just like wallows in my, whatever. But I was getting to a bad place, and so I started to reach out to different friends of mine. Being in the entertainment industry and the arts industry, there's actually a lot of people who are on their own mental health journeys and are on medication, seeing therapists and things like that. It just isn't widely publicized per se, like you said, because Korea isn't as open as maybe the Western countries. But it is getting a little bit better, I would say. A lot better. But
I think it's slow. It's just slow for the Asian culture, because I'm not saying all of Western culture we need to follow. But
of course not.
Yeah, but there are certain things that people, and
I think it's starting to get better. I feel like we're progressing to a better space. And so
how you doing now, Marshall? How's your back now?
So Charlotte and I spoke, and she told me her experience with her mental health journey, and she pushed me, and not pushed me, but she highly recommended going to see a professional. And so I hit up some of my friends, and they recommended me to a psychiatrist in my area in Seoul. And so I was looking for a bilingual psychiatrist, a bilingual doctor.
That's exactly why my mom called my aunt because if I talk to a Korean doctor, then how am I supposed to explain what I'm feeling, I need to get it out, So.
Not to say that, all Korean doctors are like that, but because I just wanted to be, like you said, communication. Exactly. Like, I didn't want to just get any misconceptions.
Yeah, because the first procedure for a psychiatrist is communication. Second is medication. So it's like, if you can't communicate, you can't medicate.
I was really scared about that as well. Coming here, how am I going to communicate with a psychiatrist here? And then I realized, there are a few that speak.
Right. So English. Thankfully, the psychiatrist that I went to was bilingual. He grew up in Alabama for 7-8 years. And so
Alabama.
Yeah, Korean, I know. That took me for, I was like, Alabama? What the heck were you doing in Alabama?
It's Southside.
So he was, super sweet, super gentle, because like any of us, our first time at a, mental care, clinic is nerve wracking. Yeah. Because really? I also grew up in a Korean home, and, Korean culture states that you either pray it away or you just
be
tough
a man
it out.
About it.
You just tough it out.
Be weak.
You just grit your teeth and just rush through it. But so I went to the clinic, and he was super sweet, super gentle, just very, yeah, it was a great experience. And then I took my first like antidepressants ever in my entire life. It was my first time with a psychiatrist, first time with therapist, first time getting, medication. And it was incredible. It was dope. So with that, like it helped me get to a better place.
Yeah.
Thankfully around the same time, my back got better as well. And so just, everything kind of just got better around the same time.
And now you've been busy. Like Marshall, he's a different person. Like I spoke to him, I was like, Marshall, man, what's going on? Like,
that's great.
Right, because Charlotte has only seen like before I was on medication or before I went to go get help.
And
and now that
everyone listening who's going through depression because of this COVID thing, and these days social issues and other things. There's so many issues going on right now. Mm-hmm. Anyone who's going through depression, it's first you could reach out. If you can't reach out to a family, reach out to a friend.
Yeah, don't suffer in silence.
Yeah, please don't talk about it. Get help and there's so many like in Korea. I've seen so many suicide news, like for young kids
like Korea's number I think 1 or 2 in the world.
Number one. It's crazy. So you have to reach out. Find the courage to reach out, People
want to listen. Like people, I remember feeling, no one's going to want to listen to what I have to say. They're just not going to want to sit and listen to this negative person. But when you do talk to someone, you feel better.
Yes.
You automatically feel better.
Definitely.
And it doesn't bring the other person down.
Right.
The other person wants to be there. They want to listen and they will. Yeah. And just don't be afraid. Don't suffer in silence. I did it for years. I think I did it for like 8 years.
And then reaching out is important too. And for the people on the other side who needs to listen, please be open to listen to receive. Yeah. It's like, if somebody's trying to open up, then somebody has to be ready to receive, you know? So be open to listen to other people's stories.
Don't judge them.
Exactly. Different personalities, different character, different skin color, whatever it is. Be ready to receive, be ready to reach out. Because all 3 of us here, we've been through a lot of shit, but we still here breathing and living. You get what I'm saying?
Living our best lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And maybe even right now, we might not be in the best moment, but still, we take this time to meet new people, talk. So everybody listening out there, please reach out, be able, like what Charlotte said, be able to receive. And
just be open-minded.
It's 2021, people. Come on. You post your pictures on SNS and everything. Why can't you talk about what's on your mind?
Look, my thing is mental health is like we take care of the other parts of our bodies and all see doctors for those things. Why not for your brain? That is, if not the most important part of your body. Yeah. So why don't we think of that in the same way that we think of
our body or our physical?
Like me, I was talking to my mom about it too, and she was like, well, like maybe like she was just like going on. I was like, Oma. I was like, the brain is part of the body too. Like we should take care of it.
People think it's made up. People think you can control everything in your head, but you can't.
And my mom said the same thing. She was like, pray more.
No, it's like even like, our mom, our dad, like they go through menopause. Male dads go through menopause, right? But it's different when you go through menopause and you can't talk about it and you're shy about it or you're kind of hiding it.
Yeah.
But be open about it, Like,
I mean,
Mom, if you're listening, be open about it. Talk to me. I'm here, Mom.
I honestly feel like a professional, like seeking professional help is definitely so important because they're actually trained professionals.
Right.
Like I think talking to friends and family is definitely a first step. But sometimes those friends or family might not be good to rely on because they could be the toxic problem in creating those bad things for you. So sometimes you do have to reach out to a therapist or a psychiatrist or something. And also take your time. You don't have to stick with the first one that you choose.
Yes.
Like, because there are some quacks out there who are going to use you. So definitely you would do with any dentist or doctor.
I opened
up several opinions.
I opened up to a young of mine who used to be in a gang, who used to be like, he's a man. I opened up about my problems. Do you know what he said to me? Excuse my language. He's like, Sam, stop being a little bitch.
No.
And I was like... So me having this mental problem is being a little bitch.
Yeah. That just wasn't the right person.
Yeah, but you just got to find the right friend.
Yeah, you do.
You
do.
Yeah.
I was shocked that all my friends understood, and they were actually, some of them were upset that I didn't go to them, and I went to a psychiatrist and I hid it for ages. I hid it from most of my friends, and I was on medication for a year before I told anyone.
Wow.
And some of them were hurt. And I realized that they were all there for me. And they were, even when I was going through the issues. But I just couldn't see it. So definitely reach out.
Depression is cancer to the brain.
Yeah, man, it eats away.
It is.
It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. Mental health is super important.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yes, no problem.
So we heard about Charlotte's music career.
Yes.
Her dating career. Her mental health journey.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening up,
Thank you.
Talking to us about, I think it's less about us and it's more about the listeners, because this could reach out to so many people.
Yeah, just don't give up. And I think what's crazy as well is I actually didn't grow up in the UK. I grew up in the Caribbean.
Oh, shit.
So I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. So I had to first make it back from there to the UK. And then from the UK to Korea.
Wow. That's intense.
And so, for everyone around the world, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Just trust. I always say, if you're just in your own bubble, doing your own thing, working away, perfecting yourself, there's somebody out there that's watching you do that.
Right.
And just waiting to reach out.
Right.
And if you're preparing on your own, doing your own thing, when they do reach out, you're going to be ready. You don't realize it. It's like we're just little tornadoes. Everyone's their own tornado, spinning around, doing their own thing. And then you collide with the right people, and you just,
magic happens.
And one of my favorite rappers is Lil Wayne, and the thing he said was repetition is the key to success. And that I really took for I was like, why? Because music, it's like us three here as writers and musicians, we're not just here because we were gifted, we're here because we went through that repetition. Right.
We had our own training.
Exactly.
I mean, you had actual training. But life,
exactly.
right? You go through so many different experiences and it builds you up into a better artist, better creative, better person.
It does.
Hit rock bottom, get back up. Rock bottom, get back up. That's repetition. And when you do that.
So many rock.
There's so many. Do you know how many times I was rejected? My demos were rejected. And what's funny is.
But you keep doing it.
Yeah. And all the people that rejected me now want to collaborate with the Hub.
Oh, Charlotte.
And that's the best revenge. I mean, not revenge. I mean...
It feels good.
It feels good to know that they rejected me and now they want to work with the Hub.
Yes.
It feels good to know that, okay, I just wasn't right for you at that time, but I didn't give up.
Yeah.
And now, okay, I'm right for you. Okay, cool.
Imagine how many people listen to your craft, it's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
It is. When sometimes I listen back to a song, I'm like, how did I even write that? Was that even me? But it was, and I just don't know how.
Probably if you add up all of your catalog, the streams and music video views and everything, it's probably 1 billion, literally.
Yeah.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. But I appreciate it. Sometimes you're so focused on your goal, you don't take time to appreciate it all and everything and stuff. Like I said, with the Kang Daniel process, I didn't realize that was so, the magnitude of it. But now I'm trying to step back and just look at everything that I'm doing, who it reaches, and just try and appreciate everything. Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So what's next on the docket for Charlotte Wilson? What are some of your future plans? Some of your next steps?
Well, I'm gonna still write. I'd like to collaborate more, with the Hub members, but also people, songwriters and producers outside of the Hub.
We should link up at my studio.
Yeah, for sure. We should definitely make some fire.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go to America as well.
Yeah, you've been before, right?
No.
Oh wow!
You've never been.
No. Yo.
It's a different vibe.
He's gonna be come to the West Coast. I'm gonna tell you, come to Chicago.
Okay, look, you guys just
or New York.
Just help me out, okay? I don't know that many people in America.
Chicago.
I don't know. So, you guys need to help me out.
Let's go together.
I think I want to start writing more for Western artists as well, but probably in a year or two.
Yeah, kind of build up your career.
Yeah, K-pop was the dream. I do want to try.
It's the hub.
Yes.
K-pop is the hub.
K-pop is the hub. Yeah. That's a good slogan. I'm going to remember that. But yeah, no, I just kind of want to build up my catalog a lot more.
For sure.
And, you know, I want the hub to grow as well.
Yeah.
You know, we're a family and, you know, I just want people to know about us a lot more and for us to collaborate and, you know, be as successful as we can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just don't want to be a normal production company or like just another one. I just want to be a family.
Yeah.
And also when you hear the hub sound, you know it's the hub. Yeah. So that's the goal.
I mean, that's all one can ask for, right? Is like to hang out and like make music or be creative with like-minded individuals.
Yeah. I think that's the most important
and
thing.
be healthy.
Yes.
In all the ways.
In all the ways.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's so important, you know?
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I find Koreans are quite healthy though.
Yeah.
Like as in, okay, no.
Of like physical.
Right. Yeah.
Not
they really take care of their appearance a lot. Okay, look.
Some.
Yeah. The ones that I've seen, okay?
Some.
Right? Like.
If you go to the countryside and meet some ajashis,
yeah, no.
probably wake up to liquor, fall asleep to liquor.
Oh my God.
Wake up to
Cut
liquor.
that part.
Hugh has just pointed himself. No, it's because Korean people drink like, you know, when you go out to like a pub, you just drink and you end it there. But like Korean people, it's like you eat and drink and then you drink.
It's a
drink
toxic cycle.
But I feel like in general, everyone's very well kept. Like, it as a
like trim figure.
Yeah.
What I don't get is you go mountain hiking because you want to get healthy, right?
Yeah.
But you go up to the peak and you drink.
there. Drinking culture is just heavily embedded.
There's a very heavy drinking.
You go
culture
cycling.
here.
You go cycling through the Hangang River
To drink.
Yeah. You're done. You're sweating. You're like, I can't imagine because you're so dehydrated.
Yeah.
And then you drink, and they're like, it's the best high.
Yeah.
It's like, Sam, you don't know. Like you go to 산 올라가서 you go up the mountain. You drink that makgeolli.
No, it's not good.
Is it?
It is.
But not to.
It's nice.
But I've tried to ride a bike and go hiking drunk, and it ain't it.
Right?
You don't get drunk. Why? No, you gotta do it when you're done.
But then when you're going down,
you wait it out until you're sober, and then
I'm a lightweight though. You know me. You know I'm a lightweight.
Girl, you'd be drinking tea then. You can't. We'll give you an Americano. Don't.
I mean, no, but in general, I feel like Koreans look. They're very well kept.
Thank you.
In general,
I received that.
Yeah, like
compliment.
I just compared to the UK where everything goes with.
That's not true.
Yeah, man. You get on the bus in the morning and
Look,
you've been there, but you've been in nice places.
There's trashy people everywhere. Okay,
right.
so.
Right. Okay, maybe in Gangnam.
Okay. All right, Charlotte. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to have you
Yeah.
on again. And next time
Thank you so much.
I want to hear more about your hits. Maybe in a few months she comes back. She's like, I wrote for
Everyone.
Hey, look, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah. Who are some of your like favorite? Who is someone that you would love to write for? Like your dream artists. Doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be K-pop, but it can be.
Ooh.
3 K-pop, 3 non-K-pop.
Okay, so there's a girl called Bree Runway.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So she's that's my natural style. She is that.
Oh.
And so I'd love to write for her.
Okay.
She's fire.
Obviously Doja Cat. I do like Doja. Yeah. Lizzo.
Yes,
I'd love to
her.
write for Lizzo. And then in K-pop, I'd like to write for 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later anyways.
I really want to write for 80s. I just like their sound. Like, I just like it. It's just kind of...
They're very hyped.
Yeah. And that's what I like. Who else? I you know what? I do like Gravity. After my turn, I'm kind of feeling them now. So I kind of I want to just give them a little bit of, my flavor. Girl groups. You know what? There isn't anyone yet right now. ITZY with a goal. So and I kind of just achieved it.
Yeah.
And so for girl groups, there's not really anyone just yet.
YG is coming out with a new girl group. It's going to be the next girl up to Blackpink. I saw them practicing. I went to YG to see them rehearse.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Everybody listening, YG coming out with a new group.
That's dope.
That's going to be dope.
Yeah. That's dope. That's really dope. Yeah. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
I hear that JYP has a new girl group too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they're dope. They're probably a goal of mine as well. So yeah.
I love that.
Next time Charlotte's on, she's gonna be like, I wrote for ATs.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Well, thank you so much, Charlotte, for being with us on the K Lounge.
Gracias.
Really appreciate all of the things that you covered today.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for your career, and I'm so excited for everything that is about to come. And hope to see you very, very soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yes,
loved it.
Everyone listening, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Please follow our Instagram, all that SNS stuff. And then please go look up Charlotte Wilson.
Yeah, where can they find you on the social media sphere?
My Instagram is I am Charlotte Wilson.
I'm gonna follow that right now.
Thank you. That's pretty simple. On Twitter, I am Shah Wills.
Okay, I didn't even know you had one.
Yeah, no idea. It's just I don't use it that much. Sorry. And then Facebook, I'm Charlotte Wilson, but there's like 1,000 Charlotte Wilsons.
What is Facebook? People use
no.
that still?
What do you mean? Facebook's really good.
No.
But Instagram's my main source, and it's just I am Charlotte Wilson.
I am Charlotte Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. Co-founder, platinum selling, songwriter, the hub. What up?
Yes. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much once again. This has been the K Lounge with Samuel, Marshall, and
Charlotte.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.